Something right now. Something real. I want you to share this with me, brothers and sisters. Sing with me. He's got the whole world in his hand. He's got the whole wide world in his hand. He's got the whole world in his hand. He's got the whole world in his hand.
All right. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Pro Wrestling Shoot. I am Jesse Carter. Joined with me, as always, James Pinard Jr. James, it has been one hell of a week in pro wrestling.
Yeah, probably the toughest one in a long time. Still can't wrap my head around all this. I know we're coming off of a week since everything, and it's not real to me.
It hasn't even been a full week.
Yeah,
it hasn't even been a full week, man. It's crazy. We went live last Tuesday, and then we lost Terry Funk the following day. Rest in peace to Terry Funk, a legend. And then the following day, we lost Wyndham Rotunda, Bray Wyatt.
So young, too.
Man, look, I haven't even gotten to speak about this on our show. I did speak a little bit on Everything Pro Wrestling show, but I really didn't get to dive into like how I was feeling about Bray Wyatt because, man, James, you know me personally. You know, I've always been an advocate for Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, big time.
Bray Wyatt was my dude, man. I enjoyed everything about his creativity. He's inspired me with everything that I do when it comes to creative for our podcast, when it comes to creative for editing videos, just trying to think outside the box, anything. He's just inspired my life deeply. I've been at times, you know, when we lost wrestlers, you know, we lost Jay Briscoe earlier this year. You know, we lost Brody Lee. It's just, you know, like certain wrestlers. I was even, you know, Eddie Guerrero. I was around with all of that. I've been watching wrestling my whole life, so I've lost a lot along their way.
Yeah.
I've never been as affected as I have been with this whole Bray loss, man. I was an emotional wreck the first 2 days, Thursday, Friday, and just going into Saturday, or no, I think it was Friday. No, yeah, Thursday and Friday. Found out Thursday. Friday, I was sort of coming back Saturday. But yeah, man, this hit, dude. This was terrible. Me and my wife, both huge fans of Bray Wyatt. I was blessed to see him perform a few times live. Never got to meet the guy, so you know he has no idea who I am. But you know, my condolences go out to his family, man. He's got a beautiful family. He's got 4 children. You know, he's a son, he's a brother, he's a husband, he's a father. So, yeah, dude, just it sucks, man. Like Bray Wyatt was my dude. 36 years old is way too young to go. This is terrible. It sucks, but you know, these kind of things happen, and it just makes you kind of think about life and think about your family and how much they mean to you. or even, anybody, your friends. It doesn't matter who you have in your life. We always think
Yeah.
that we can just text, call the next day. It's okay. I got them tomorrow. You know what I mean?
It's
I'll
not a
call tomorrow.
given, you know.
Just yeah, dude, just make that phone call, man. Like after the whole Bray Wyatt thing, I text every single person in my family.
Yeah.
It was
It was
sucked.
yeah, it caught me off the blue. Seeing my phone was blowing up with what's going on, and I see the word from Triple H, and just like just like a lot of other people that I've seen from videos, they thought it was maybe Triple H was hacked. It didn't seem believable, um, and it took me some time to realize like this is actually reality. This happened. Um, I mean, it's hit me hard in the past. Kobe Bryant was one that was out of the blue. Eddie Guerrero was another one. Um, he was an inspiration, if you will. We don't really we don't really have any dark comedic characters. Like the way I would say, he kind of got the torch passed on, you know, from Kane and Undertaker and Mankind. He was doing stuff that you normally don't see in wrestling. He changed a lot of things in wrestling, if you will. Um, you know, I will say that I am honored that I have seen him live at live events. Marvelous character. He's a great human being. And all the tributes this week from SmackDown, AEW, TNA, all of them in general, everybody knew who he was.
Well, yeah, he came up with all the younger talent that you see today, because a lot of the talent that you have in AEW, he was training with. He was wrestling in the FCW with. There was a lot of stuff that he was doing with a lot of these guys know Bray Wyatt on a personal level, and I have not heard a single thing about him. I mean, so look, man, I mean, I get it. Towards the end of his run, a lot of people were kind of rushing, what was going on with him and stuff like that. But regardless of how you felt about certain matches or how certain booking went, the whole Hell in a Cell situation, or, this recent Mountain Dew match, there is no denying that Bray Wyatt is one of the most creative, inspirational characters that I have ever seen step foot in wrestling. His passion for what he did was so cinematic and so outside the box and so inspiring that I'd said for years, like, man, this guy would just be amazing in some sort of film. The creativity and just the facial features that he's able to make, and the acting skills, dude. The acting skills were so
mhm.
good to me. Everything about this man was just like, if you know me on a personal level, you know that I love my movies. I love
Yeah.
movies. I take film very, very serious. I strive to be good at not only editing YouTube videos as like a talking head, but also doing other things outside the box on YouTube with some of the films that I do. I'm
Right.
just getting started now, but man, I am so open for anything, and I love just experimenting. And I know that Bray Wyatt was that kind of dude. And everybody that knew him, man, had a lot to say. Like you said, there was a lot of good tributes. We're gonna get into some of them right now, but I want to acknowledge a few people in the chat, man. Everything Pro Wrestling says, what's going on? Button Basher Gaming, he says, hey, welcome to the chat, man. I think this is the first time that you've
Yeah,
been in
how's it
here, man.
going?
Welcome to the chat. Says this week has been so many downs. Yes, 100%, man. It's been crazy.
Hmm.
Um, Passionate Prince RS, what's going on, man? Welcome to the chats. He says, hey, my favorite thing that he had was easily his match against Cena at WrestleMania 30, the match that he should have won, in my opinion. Rest in peace, GOAT. 100%. Everything Pro Wrestling says, Bray Wyatt forever and Terry Funk forever. Yeah, man. It's crazy. So
Respectfully.
Terry Funk, man, like I love Terry Funk, and the best thing to say about Terry Funk is, if anybody asks you about Terry Funk, who is Terry Funk, if they're not into wrestling, you can or if they just got into wrestling. Like, I don't know much about Terry Funk. The best way to describe Terry Funk is he's your favorite wrestler's favorite wrestler.
Yeah.
Terry Funk. Terry Funk, such a legend, man. It hit me, with Terry Funk, man. But he was blessed to live quite a long age, man. I only pray that I can make it to 80 years old. You know what I'm saying? So it's just crazy. But Bray Wyatt at 36 years old, that's rough, man. That's rough.
Yeah. I mean, just like you said, having 4 children, I don't think they were married yet, fiance JoJo, just unexpectedly, getting that news. You never want to hear it. But he personified, and he was a big, for myself being a big heavy guy myself, he was inspiration because a lot of
Dude,
people downed him.
That's another thing. You hit that exactly what I wanted to talk about as well. Man, just I'm not a muscular guy. In my early 20s I was, but like being a bigger guy, I liked seeing somebody like Bray Wyatt on my screen. I could relate to him, and the dude was able to move. I just so good, man. Let's acknowledge a couple more people. Tokyo to Menace, man. He says run. Matthew Lopez, rest in peace, the Funker, Wyatt, and Bob Barker. Yes, we also lost Bob Barker just a couple days ago, man. It's they come in threes, man. They come in threes.
Yeah.
Bob Barker, 99 years old, right?
Didn't go over $1.
Yeah, that's man.
So,
Bob Barker, what a legend.
even him, he's important. From I've watched the game show. I'm pretty sure you have, and being involved in WWE, of course, and he was excellent.
Chai Sox fan for life. Chainsaw Charlie, welcome to the chat, by the way, guys. He also says Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper tagging in heaven with Terry Funk as their manager. Yeah, it's crazy. Tokyo Domenis says I only remember Terry Funk from dumpster matches with New Age Outlaws. Yeah, it's Chainsaw Charlie. I remember that too. Yeah, I watch. I'm an old school guy. I may not look as old as I am, but I'm pretty old, and well, I'm not old. I'm actually Bray Wyatt's age, so I guess that's another reason why it, that hit me so much. I'm a little older than Bray Wyatt, so but I've been watching wrestling since I was like 2. So I definitely have gone back and watched Terry Funk's career. His stuff in ECW was phenomenal, man. Just so good, man. The stuff that he did, with Mick Foley, aka Cactus Jack, those barbed wire matches and stuff like that. Just crazy stuff, dude. Let's get into some of these beautiful tributes that happened during SmackDown. Was the first show I think that we got hit with where we were paying homage to Terry Funk and Bray Wyatt. We see everybody standing on and this was very last minute too. This was 24 hours after everybody had heard the news. They completely canceled everything that they had planned for SmackDown. So shout out to WWE for doing this, man. Wyndham Rotunda's death definitely touched a lot of fans.
Yeah,
it touched a lot of fans. So the fact that they had some of this stuff happen, man, it was just it was good. It was a good episode of SmackDown to just kind of soak in Bray Wyatt stuff. They were putting up the QR codes, which led you to their YouTube and giving you Bray Wyatt moments, which was, perfect fashion.
Very amazing. I got to do a shout out, because everyone that tried to go to SmackDown, Alexa Bliss couldn't make it. Seth Rollins was another one that couldn't make it himself. And they all did videos, Alexa was hit hard by this, of course. Seth was just down to earth about it. He was at a live, it was at a house show, and he broke down. It's a huge acknowledgement. I know we're going to get into it here. Raw had big acknowledgement for him. Some people were in, usually in wrestling perspective, they always wear the the wristbands or whatever else, wrist tape or just any other things.
You got the
We
side
have
plates right here on the World
yeah,
Heavyweight Championship with Seth
and
Rollins. Just
yeah,
nice touch, man. Seth
Wyndham
Rollins
on the
too
arm.
also broke down during a live event talking about Wyndham, which was
Yeah.
really touching to watch. I don't know if you guys had seen that, but in the comments, man, if you guys are here in the chat, man, hit us with some of your favorite Bray Wyatt moments, man. I know like some of his classic stuff when he first started in NXT was just so good. When he was, the Eater of Worlds was so good. I have loved every single gimmick from Bray Wyatt. So I mean, you're talking to a biased wrestling fan right now because Bray Wyatt was my dude. But let me know what you guys liked about Bray Wyatt, man. We'll read it right here on the pod.
Yeah, and it's amazing because the whole wrestling community, like, you've seen it. The wrestling community came together with this, even the fans acknowledging it. Seth starting off his promo with saying "Yowie Wowie," Becky Lynch ending off Raw raising the armband in the air, and she was tearing up. You can clearly see it. She even did a off the air talking about how Bray was there to help her with her TLC match and give respect and just some pointers of what you can do. He was very nice. I've seen so many clips of him interacting with fans, and he's so humble of a guy.
This was one of those guys that, like I've had the discussion on the podcast before where I would say, I just don't approach these guys. I don't approach any wrestlers on the street. James, I've been with you. We've walked up to we walked by Ruby Soho, multiple other wrestlers, and I'm just like, we're not, I'm not going to bug them. They're on their time off or
bug
whatever,
them in their personal space. But Bray was one of those ones.
He was just one of those guys that was so approachable, and if he noticed you noticing him, he would come and approach you. That's how cool of a guy Bray Wyatt is, and that's how I like my wrestlers, man. Like those guys that just acknowledge their fans, super humble, super grateful that people even acknowledged him, man. It's just one of those. He's a gem, dude. He's a gem that we lost, and
he's one of a kind, and we're probably never going to get anybody
one of
like
a kind
him ever again.
Shout out to, and there were shout outs on AEW's All In, and we're going to get into All In too, and we're going to talk about it as well as All Out and all this stuff going on with CM Punk or whatever. But, I just wanted to take, this time to talk about Bray Wyatt because I haven't gotten that opportunity yet. We only go live once a week. I didn't want to. You wouldn't have wanted to see me live the day that I heard the news, trust me, because like normally I'm very active in my group chats with James, Conrad from Everything Pro Wrestling, all these guys, but those 2 days I kind of just took a break and wasn't as active as normal because I was an emotional wreck, dude, and there's no way I could have went live with this because I would have broken down, and I don't want nobody seeing me like that. I'd hit the pride, you know what I mean? So, it sucks, man. He was one of those guys that's, that everybody loved, man. I've never heard a bad thing about Bray Wyatt, not once. And shout out to all the guys on AEW doing the tribute. I don't have any pictures of Malachi Black and the Lantern stuff with House of Black on All In, but I do have this picture of Dax Harwood that wore a Jay, Brody, and Bray armband at All In, and same with Cash Wheeler. So shout out to them, man. Shout out to everybody, acknowledging it in AEW.
Mm-hmm.
I did read something about maybe his services tomorrow. I don't know if it's tomorrow or if it's next week, but I did.
It's sometime this week, and respect to Tony Khan for allowing the talent.
Giving them time off to go.
If you need to go do it, and I'm pretty sure WWE is doing the same thing. It's not about this tribalism or fan wars of what company is better. It doesn't matter. This is this guy is very important to everybody. Same with when Brody Lee passed away. Same with Jay Briscoe.
You know what sucks, dude? What's really sucks about the wrestling community is it takes a tremendous loss to bring wrestling fans together. Instead of all this
Mm-hmm.
arguing on who, which company's better, which side of the roster you're on, whether you're elite, whether you're CM Punk, whether it doesn't, all that stuff doesn't matter, man. Like, we all love pro wrestling. And that's what
Easily.
it should always be about, that we all love pro wrestling and we should all come together. Look, wrestling is subjective. There's going to be stuff that you don't like, but to hate on each other and just take it to levels
It's
that
a
it doesn't
sad
need to be.
way, Swerve was the one that said that. He's like, I don't like the fact that wrestling fans just get there when someone passes away. It should be collectively together. Now, I'm not saying all the time you can like either show. You don't need to, but it's just so toxic. And I'm just glad people do have the honorary respect when someone passes away. We all acknowledge them in any ways. It's not about, oh, he went here or he went there. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. We're here to praise Bray Wyatt of his talents and everything he's gave to us. Like I said, it's an honor to see him in multiple matches myself. I can't think of them all of them in my head, but I was there for his Inferno match, Hell in a Cell match, and a couple of tag matches. The guy was phenomenal, and he will be forever missed. That's for sure. And I'm pretty sure at this moment they're doing tributes on NXT as we speak.
Yes. I'm sure they are. So here's the thing, guys. Just, once the family gets their time to just, it's probably going to take some time to soak all this in, because still, as fans, I mean, we still haven't even soaked all this in. It's crazy. It's just, it's so hard to believe, but, just love on them, man. You know what I mean? Send your love to that family, because they can sure need it. And also, guys, I actually created this graphic right here. It should be showing up on Google. So if you guys want to use this graphic for anything, I didn't put no watermarks on it or nothing. This is free for anybody to use, man. So you guys want to do some tribute videos or whatever, go ahead, man. I don't even need the credit, so don't even worry about it. I just wanted to make something for him. But this is, yeah.
Yeah, and
It's sad,
shout
man.
out to who was it? I think it was Braun. They got I know a couple people, but I know Braun was one of them that got the latest logo of Bray Wyatt's. I want to say 4 or 5 superstars got his logo tattooed. So, and it was just hard for them to even show up and go. So
awesome tattoo, man.
Yeah,
I think that's awesome. Like, I would even consider getting it tattooed.
Hall of Fame for sure. I don't, there's no argument. He needs to go in the Hall of Fame this next WrestleMania.
Well, see, that's another thing too. Like, I don't really care what the deal is with that personally. Like, right now, I'm still trying to soak all this in, but you would think that WWE would throw him in the Hall of Fame, and I'm sure it's going to happen. But as of right now, man, I think that instead of reaching out to the family and saying, "Oh, we're going to throw him," into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it's way too early to say.
Give them time to kind of soak some stuff in. Let's get to the comments of some Bray Wyatt memories before we move on to All In, man. Matthew Lopez says Bray Wyatt, Bryan Danielson's story was so good and match is so good. I loved when they were doing that. When Bryan joined the Wyatt family, we all knew it was not long for this world, man, but that moment put a smile on my face. Everybody also knows Bryan Danielson is from the Seattle area, so he is my hometown boy. Another one of my absolute favorite wrestlers. So yeah, to see him in the ring and doing a faction with Bray Wyatt, priceless for me, man. Like, that's pure gold. Everything Pro Wrestling says the Wyatt family versus the Shield. Fire every single time. Yeah, that was good,
easily,
man. So good. Yeah, I agree. I love that rivalry. He's putting the hands up. I'm not sure what he was putting that up for. I'm a little late to that comment. Sorry, Conrad. Gabe, what's going on, man? Welcome to the chat. He says, I watched Bray first promo back in FCW, and even back then he was magic. Dude, that promo Conrad talks about all the time, and it is one of my absolute favorite promos too, because it just what Conrad from Everything Pro Wrestling, guys, go and follow him, by the way, at EPW show. You guys, like, he nails it. When you watch that promo, you already knew what kind of gimmick he was. You know what I mean? You got the character. You understood where he was coming from. Just the acting from it, dude, was so good. I wish I could play that promo on here without getting, any sort of copyrights or anything like that. But dude, so good. So good, Gabe. I'm glad you went back and watched that promo. I put up a couple little things for Bray Wyatt on our channel too. I got another video dropping tomorrow. It's the video dropping tomorrow mainly has something to do with WWE 2K24, but it does have a lot to do with Bray Wyatt as well. So go and check out those. I put a tribute video on our channel. I also got a short out there with Bray Wyatt, just some good moments from him. Go and check those out, man. Yeah, look up anything Bray Wyatt. It doesn't even have to be for me. Just go and watch this guy back, and you'll see the magic that he had to produce, man. Everything Pro Wrestling says, Swamp Daddy Bray is the best. I love it. And he says the vignette with Bray and Eli Cottonwood. Yep.
Easily.
Yeah, so good, man. Levi Nicholas, man, welcome to the chat. Levi, I actually know in person. I haven't talked to him in a long time, so it's really good to hear from you. He says, rest in peace to Terry Funk, too. Not talked about enough. Thanks for the tribute for Bray. Everyone says that they can't understand what he's talking about in his Wyatt family days. I don't get it. I understood it. You know what? And Bray understood that, too. So that's what's cool about Bray Wyatt is, like, that dude got it. He understood, like, what I'm doing is not going to be for everybody, and he wasn't hurt over that. But he said some get it and some don't. He said that actually in his last press conference after the Royal Rumble. So,
yeah,
so good, man. Bray Wyatt was one of the most creative minds you'll ever see in professional wrestling. That's for sure. Was he the best wrestler in the world? No, but it doesn't matter because he gave us the best entertainment possible. And I wouldn't. There's not one time that you'd ever have a wrestler come on and have the fans turn into detectives and scanning QR codes and looking about what's in the back of this vignette or this promo. Or
that's never been done before, you know.
It was the most creative thing that I've ever seen, having the White Rabbit pop up everywhere, having the Alice in Wonderland song playing, the White Rabbit, you know what I mean? It's in empty.
It was memorable. Yeah, it was probably the last person that I could think did something like that is maybe like Jericho doing like the, with the wording and the missing letters.
Yeah, but this was
it was out of the realm. It was different, and it was every time like a QR code. Everyone would scan everything. Everyone became a detective. It was fun. It was enjoyable.
This was so out of the box, man, and I've never seen anything like this. Like, not in movies, this was Easter eggs to the max, man. Like, so good.
So with his last run and doing the whole, the last gimmick going on, here's the thing that I really enjoyed. When he did the gimmick with the whole, like, when he changed from Eater of Worlds and all that, the Wyatt family thing was done. He went solo, and he was doing the whole Mr. Roger thing. I remember it clear as day. First day, everybody was bashing on it. Okay, like, what is this? Probably like a week later, it was the best thing around. It was Firefly Funhouse was the most
so good, dude.
Excellent thing. It was always entertaining. We actually talked about this when WWE wasn't at its top level. I always had coworkers always ask me, "What's Lesnar doing? What is Bray doing?" That was the only things we cared about.
Yeah.
I've said it. We watched Crown Jewel numerous times when he was fighting for the title.
When Bray was on there, that was the only time that I would tune into WWE. Hey, let me see that Bray Wyatt segment for tonight. That was the only time I was tuning into SmackDown, right? Every time, like, when he came back, I was like, all right, well, let me just check out Bray. I didn't care about the bloodline. Like, everybody else going nuts over the bloodline.
Yeah,
I'm like, I want to see what Bray's doing. Let me see what Bray's doing. Like, that's the only thing I wanted to tune in for.
He was main event material. They gave him that spotlight. He proved his worth. I mean, there's so many memorable moments. They've showcased a number of times. As soon as I heard everything the following day, I watched him and Cena in the Firefly Funhouse. I went on a binge trip when he just came back to WWE after Extreme Rules and tried to watch every single Firefly Funhouse, and I noticed little clues. But it was entertaining. It was different. It was, like a horror movie, but into wrestling, if you will. No disrespect to Undertaker and all them. he was just thought out of the box. He had so many people. He had his own
I've
director with
said it
him.
live on this show, man. I've always thought that Bray Wyatt was the better version of
He
this
was a
dark character.
genius.
Nobody has done this dark character like him. Like, I liked Undertaker. Don't get me wrong. The stuff that he did was good. I'm not saying that he wasn't good, but for me personally, I enjoyed what Bray Wyatt was doing 1,000 times more than what an Undertaker was doing back in the
They
day.
even
So that's
acknowledged him, Taker specifically. And what was it, Raw 2000 or 3? I forgot what it was, or 2500.
Yeah.
Triple X, 30 years. You know, he was acknowledged. You know, the guy was brilliant. He was always a must-see thing.
And we'll
And
never know what Taker whispered into his ear either.
And
Bray said
Taker,
that he was going to take that to his grave.
yeah. Will it ever come out? I don't know if Taker will say anything. But, you know, you will be forever missed. That's for guaranteed sure. You know, thank you, Bray. That's thank you for so much. Thank you for just your creative mind and bringing it to wrestling in general. And you even gave ideas to other wrestlers out there
and other content creators like us. You know what I mean? Like, even though we're not doing the dark stuff, but just that mindset of thinking outside the box and trying to stand out when others aren't standing out. You know what I mean? Like, anybody that is a regular to our podcast when it came to the audio side before we started doing our podcast live, you seen this kind of stuff that we would come up with creative wise. This is all just thinking outside the box, man, and that came from Bray Wyatt for me, man.
Yeah. He convinced current stars nowadays. House of Black, when Matt did his broken Matt gimmick, just other superstars in general, even independent scenes, you see it.
Yeah.
I can't think of it on the top of my head, but there is people that have said
McQueen.
Mojo McQueen was another one. Yes. You know, so thank you. Like I said, thank you so much, Bray. Wyndham Rotunda. Condolences to the family. We love you, and we're always here for you.
100%, man. Couldn't have said it better. Levi Nicholas says he told stories like nobody before/after. There won't ever be anything close to all of that. And then he also says exactly, I watched Bray Wyatt, not WWE, and that's how I viewed wrestling for the longest time. I just wanted to see what Bray Wyatt was up to. Or, you know, there was probably a couple more things on there that I would check out, but for the most part, Bray was my top priority to go and check out. Matthew Lopez says Bray Wyatt, Firefly Funhouse, Evil Mr. Rogers Neighborhood, Looking Persona, and The Fiend. Incredible. Yeah, so if you go and check out our short too, that I just uploaded today, there is a little clip when The Fiend debuted. And that first clip where he says, I still got a lot of darkness up in this noggin. You know what I mean? But don't worry, you know. And then he just had that blank stare. And then it just popped into The Fiend. Just, man, his acting skills were just top of the line, man. But, yeah, that's all I could really say, man. Thank you so much, Bray. Thank you for everything, man, for all the inspiration. Sorry we took this long. If you guys were waiting for the All In talk, but the Bray Wyatt stuff was just top priority for me, man. This is I haven't got to speak about it, so this is definitely something I wanted to get out. But on a positive note, Sunday came around, man, and the only thing I wanted to do was take my mind off of everything negative that has been happening that previous week, or that week, I guess. And yeah, we got All In, man. All In at Wembley, 81,035 people, accurate attendance for paid fans. That's not the accurate attendance for everybody that was in the arena. Everybody that was in the arena was probably closer to 90,000, which is incredible. Kudos to AEW, because anybody shooting this down, like, let it go, man. This is good for professional wrestling. There was some bad stuff happening behind the scenes, but we're going to get into that, and that's unfortunate too, because while AEW was putting on the best show that they've ever done, probably one of the better shows in pro wrestling history, we were too focused on dirt sheets reporting stupid things in the back, and we shouldn't have been focusing on what was going on in this ring, man. This card was banger after banger after banger. This is the first card that I've watched, and I couldn't tell you how long, that every single match I was entertained, every single match I was there for. I didn't get bored. There was not a dull moment in this pay-per-view, man. Like I've really spoke highly about it on Everything Pro Wrestling show when we went live right after All In. Conrad tagged me in, and I was blessed to be able to go on his show. I haven't been on his show for a long time. He comes on our show quite a bit, but I never get the chance or the opportunity to go on his. So I was really grateful that I had that opportunity. And it was a lot of fun, man. It's always fun talking with Conrad of pro wrestling. And it was, what a show. What a freaking show, dude. Let me know in the comments, guys, everybody watching this, how you felt about All In. Like, personally, I really dug this show. Like, I'm giving it 2 thumbs up. This whole show from 0 hour until the main event, just thumbs up. There wasn't a dull moment for me. I loved every single match. I mean, if you wanted to nitpick, you probably could. I mean, like I said, wrestling is just so subjective. But for me, dude, this show was good. First of all, James, how did you feel about it? And I guess we can start with 0 hour. What? Oh, I don't even have a graphic for that 0 hour match between MJF, Adam Cole versus Aussie Open. How did you feel about this?
Man, just from top to bottom, the whole card was excellent. You thought you were going to have a cool down match, and that wasn't the case. It was to the point where you have to be there for every minute or you're going to miss something of the show that was very important for all you know. I didn't realize 0 hour started at like 8 a.m. because there was a lot of other still, like Jeff Jarrett came out, the Power of Hobbs and Miro contract saying. I didn't realize they went that, but they were entertaining. And a lot of fans, of course, 81,035 were in attendance, which is a damn big deal. I know you were skeptical on the whole thing when the arena was the set was being built, and it was a little canopy like right in the center. It looked so small. I know you were very prideful about it being spectacular.
Look, I only felt that way because I want AEW to succeed. And I know that if you're going to put this big show and you're going to call it the greatest, on Clash of the Podcast yesterday, Hubbard Wrestling Weekly was very critical of All In, as he should be.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not taking anything away from that. And the reason why he was critical is because they booked this to be the greatest wrestling event of all time. Okay. When you put a name on it like that, look, me personally, I didn't take it like that. I took it as a selling point. That is just like the greatest WrestleMania match of all time between Edge and Randy Orton. Like, it's a selling point. Like, there's no way that they're going to live up to that. You know what I mean? So personally, I took it as a selling point. That's what I was looking at it for. It's a selling point. But he didn't, you know what I mean? And other people probably felt the same way. So, I mean, he's not wrong for that.
No, not in that context.
So when I wanted the set to look good, I wanted the production level to look good. Check it out, man. I have not seen, look, AEW surprised the hell out of me with this event because from top to bottom, the production level was great. The entrance ramp looked great. It was different because it wasn't a really long ramp. They actually did it from the side of the stadium instead of from the back of the stadium, which was different. I loved it. Everybody had a pretty good view, which is different than a WrestleMania, and you're paying a lot more money for a WrestleMania ticket. This was good. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
This was great. Like, I'm not going to say it was good. It was great. This was a great pay-per-view. This was by far, to me personally, this is just my personal opinion. I mean, everybody's got their own, and that's fine. Wrestling's subjective, but this was, to me, the greatest AEW pay-per-view that they've ever put on.
Yeah, it was undoubtedly great. You didn't hear no, complaints of any issues. You always hear it for once in a while, WrestleMania, like technical difficulties or something catching on fire. Of course, I know there was pillars in a way, so I know some fans had the block viewage. But it wasn't too high of a stage, where it's usually blocked. You can't see from the opposite side. It was presented very respectively great. I I love how the stage was incorporated with like the inside tunnel.
Yeah, that looked really cool, man.
It
I
was
loved that.
different. It was different, you know.
So
And
I actually Conrad pointed that out to me in the chat, to us in the chat, because I only seen just the big LED screen, and he's like, "Oh, I like the tunnel," and I was like, "What is he talking about?" Because I guess I just didn't see it yet. Then I seen the tunnel because I actually missed Paul White coming out to the ring. I missed Jarrett coming out to the ring, all that stuff during the 0 hour. I only caught the 2 matches, so as soon as the action started, that's when I started watching for the most part.
Yes.
So I didn't see the tunnel yet until MJF and Adam Cole were making their way. I don't have a graphic for that, and I don't have a graphic for Jack Perry and Hook. But that match was good too, man. It brought some drama. Obviously, we got a lot of stuff going on. We're gonna get into the whole CM Punk and Jack Perry stuff. I just kind of want to talk about All In and kind of skim over it real quick. But All In was phenomenal in my opinion.
0 hour delivered. I will say,
dude,
that.
Best
for what
0
it was,
hour I've ever seen. Ever.
Yeah. Like, you know, when WWE has done pre-shows in the past, usually it's like a match, then a cool off, and then a match. This time with AEW, which, you know, I don't think WWE does pre-shows anymore. It's been a while. They did segment after segment. They got, you know, they talked to fans. They you know, they kept you entertained. They didn't just want to do like the usual panel, you know. They went back and forth, and, you know, you had Jeff Jarrett getting hit with the guitar.
So I didn't.
Hobbs and
see
Miro
that.
was excellent. You know, and then everyone was thinking, how was Adam Cole and MJF going to lead off the show? You know, being 0 hour, which I thought it was excellent. Wrestling twice on the card. You know, the story is there.
And they surprised us with a win. They're the new ROH Tag Team Champions.
I was surprised, you know, and it's smart on their decision to keep this going because this is money making of a tag team. WWE has done the same when the tag team strikes gold. We've seen it with Orton and Matt Riddle. That struck gold for how long? You got to keep this going.
That plug at the end with Excalibur when at the main event when MJF and Adam Cole were going at it, and they both put on the T-shirt that says "Better than you, baby." As soon as they put on the shirt, the way Excalibur delivered that plug. By the way, this is available at shopaew.com. It's definitely there.
You got to throw it in there. So
like, what a plug, dude! What a plug. Easily. Levi says exactly, bro. Punk / Perry is everywhere. Even going to be brought up here personally. I think we need to let go of the negativity and shining the light on the backstage drama. The show was incredible. You took the words right out of my mouth.
Santana said the same exact thing. He's like, I don't care about this. Adam Cole, wrestlers are even acknowledging it. Okay, there's drama. I get it. Acknowledge what happened in the damn ring. That's more important. But you know how social media is. That's the big thing. We love drama. You know, that's just how it is. But let's just acknowledge it first. The wrestling show was fantastic. So, first ever time in Wembley.
Let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. I'm gonna give my issues right now, and really I'm not gonna dive too much into that dirt sheet crap. But here's the thing. Before we do that, CM Punk, Samoa Joe, phenomenal match. Probably my match of the night. This was so much fun to watch. It reminded me of that old school wrestling. They drew the heat. They drew the crowd. Punk did the deed under the table after he got smashed through it. You didn't see him do it. It was everything that pro wrestling needed to be. Loved this match. Loved it. My second favorite match of the night was definitely the Young Bucks. Young Bucks versus FTR, man. What a banger of a match. Like these two matches to me stole the show, but I'm not taking anything away from matches like Will Ospreay and Chris Jericho because that killed as well. That Stadium Stampede was wild. I only have this graphic right here, but that Stadium Stampede was absolutely bananas. Loved it. Shout out to Paige because her moment was shining. I know there's been a lot of heat for Paige online, like, oh, she shouldn't have won the title, this, that. Look, man, her family finally got to shine. Her family story is just very wholesome. I love the family story. I'm happy for Saraya winning the title. I don't think she's going to keep it long anyway, but it was just a great moment in AEW history. Not only that, man, Saraya coming out to Queen.
Wow.
Tony Khan's pockets run deep, sir. They run deep. They run so deep that we even seen the likes of Sting coming out to Metallica Seek and Destroy. I'm going to say it again for you. Tony Khan's pockets run deep.
Yeah.
I wish I had Tony Khan money, bro. Like, that's not even a lie. I wish I had Tony Khan money. Like, my goodness. My goodness.
Oh man, the songs in general. When I heard Queen, I thought, wait a minute, what is going on here? I couldn't believe it. Metallica with Sting, WCW throwback, if I will. That was actually, was not expecting that. The video package before then was awesome. And I know Tony had to do a couple changes due to certain superstars couldn't make it with visa issues and, other issues that are out of control. I thought they were great changes. I thought everything was right. We got Santana and Ortiz, which everyone was concerned how it was going to work for him. They did the job. They weren't really looking at each other, but they've done
they did
the job, and they, and they weren't silent. They were talking all over Twitter. They were acknowledging wrestling fans. They were acknowledging even the negative stuff going on backstage, which we'll get into. They were acknowledging everything, and you can tell certain signs that they kept them away. If with there was cool additions. Stadium Stampede blew my mind. Osprey and Jericho surprised me. Jericho stood in, did very well. Just, man, the first match with Punk and Samoa Joe, killer match. Man, even ROH vibes with it. It delivered. It delivered. Now, was it the best AEW event of all time? I mean, there could be a couple things that could be fixed in the future, but
it's subjective.
For what it delivered, you have 81,000 fans. I mean, that's a big damn deal for a wrestling event.
You had a lot more people in that building than 81. He said that there were a few thousand comps on top of. They only announced what they sold to fans in general, but there were so many comps in there. He said a few thousand. So there was a lot more people in that building than 81,000, but 81,000 paid phenomenal. Like you can't short side that.
And that crowd was loud.
Let's get to some comments, man, before we dive into this. Matthew Lopez said, I love it. All In from top to bottom was good to great. Everything Pro Wrestling said A-, A+ for me. When it comes to it, and then he said, "Well, because you mentioned the Big Show, I don't have the sound effect, man. I don't have the sound effect like Everything Pro Wrestling. Go check them out."
I'm surprised he was on. Was he in? Oh yeah, he was involved with Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah, that boy was sweating. That's when I came back to 0 Hour. I came back and I was like, "Why is Paul White sweating so damn much?"
Like, yeah, and I'm like, "What?" And I had to look up where. I'm like, "It's 70." Like I would take that, but.
Byron Cutler, man, back at it again. WWE 2K24 should have new match types. I agree, man. I agree. I think they're coming, those. So get stoked. By the way, Byron, I got a new WWE 2K24 video dropping tomorrow. So make sure you hit that bell for notifications. As a matter of fact, everybody else watching this, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell for notifications because we drop short content. We go live every Tuesday, and we got tons of shorts on our channel that we're probably dropping every day. I don't know, man. I drop so many shorts now that like it's unpredictable what you'll see from our channel at this point, man. We're going up in subscribers. Everybody's showing a lot of love. I'm loving it, man. He said, Levi says, I thought it was dangerous to have your main event wrestle first, knowing anything can happen. Very dangerous. Yeah, it was a risk that they took, but it paid off, man. Paid off.
Luckily, nothing happened, and it can happen anytime in any event, any match, and they figured, let's take the risk. These guys are professional wrestlers. They know what they're doing, and Aussie Open did a fabulous job as well. And, everything was flowing well with them.
Yeah. Levi also said ROH nostalgia, Pepsi effing plunge. Let's get it. Easy mother effing E in the house. He said, like I said, I ate on paper, then over delivered. Exactly. So I think that's what made this event so great is that on paper, this event did not look like it was going to be even close to the greatest wrestling event of all time. So already I was going in with low expectations. This event blew me away, dude. I had so much fun watching it. I'm glad I got it on BR because I can rewatch it. So I'm enjoying that, man. I'm going to go have to run it back. You know what I mean? Check some things out on it. Same on favorites. Everything Pro Wrestling said, E 100%. Easy E also says a bunch of bangers, but they let it breathe. Yes, they did. They did really good on that, man. Byron Cutler at it again. We need 40-man and 50-man Royal Rumble matches in 2K24.
Good luck.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. Easy E says great moments for Saraya. Everything Pro Wrestling says Juice crazy ass was dope. Yes, Juice Robinson.
He's
Juice
came a long way.
That boy rock hard. Levi says Metallica best entrance of the night for sure, man. Those video packages that they play for Darby Allin too, dude, so good, so creative. That's another thing that just kind of reminds me of something that Bray Wyatt would do. I love the creativity that Darby Allin provides us. Matthew Lopez says Sting coming out to Search and Destroy was sick. WCW 2000, so nice. Yes. Actually, my very first time seeing Sting was WCW Nitro in 1999 at the Yakima Sun Dome. I think it was October or something. Conrad would have to get you with them dates because he's the one that's watching that WCW back from 1999 to 2000. But he came out with the Seek and Destroy or Search and Destroy, sorry. No, it's Seek and Destroy, right? Yeah, Seek and Destroy. Yeah,
it's
album version of Seek and Destroy is better than the Woodstock version for sure. Facts. Easy E says, is Mike Santana a collider?
Santana?
Not sure.
I don't know. We'll see where they go. Maybe they'll be split.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Everything Pro Wrestling said, the CM Punk Jack Perry talk is about to make me sad AF. Conrad, do you want that invite? Because I know that you got a lot to say on this subject as well. I will shoot you an invite real quick if you want, sir.
There's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot
I know
to dissect on this.
I didn't invite Conrad this week because that boy is going nuts over there on EPW. He's got a lot of streaming to do. He just did All In. He just did Clash of the Podcast. He's going to come back with AEW Dynamite review tomorrow, and then he's going back on Hubbard Wrestling Weekly on Thursday, and then doing an all-out review. So that boy's busy, so I didn't want to send him the invite to ours and make him do all that.
I also got to give you a shout out, Conrad. Thank you for sharing the videos on Jim Cornette talking about this. Excellent.
Yeah, okay, so Easy E says the big danger was that Aussie Open with the giant peach falling on somebody. Oh man, let's keep a PG in here, folks. Easy E also says, yo, EPW, why you quit on WCW 99? Keep on trucking. Exactly, man. You got to go back and watch that Yakima episode. I'm telling you, it was good. We got Sting versus Flair. That's all that needs to be said. It was perfect, dude. That was my first ever TV event that I ever went to because I didn't get no tickets in the Attitude Era. You weren't getting them tickets unless you were waiting in line at the arenas for
right
hours
at the
on
box
end,
office,
staying the night. Like yeah, you ain't getting in line like you are today, on Ticketmaster. It's impossible.
Yeah, getting mad at the queue. Damn it, I'm 2,000 in the queue.
Yeah, and I was too young, so I had to rely on my parents or my brother to go and get me them tickets.
Hey, go camp out, bring a tent.
Yeah, they weren't doing that. He said, I am not near a computer or else I would. That's all good, man. He said he finished. No, you didn't. You didn't finish, Conrad. You got to go watch that Yakima episode. You finished.
You gave up on it.
You gave up on it, man. All right. Well, since Conrad is not joining us,
what do you want to talk about?
Yeah, let's get into the depressing news that's going around the internet right now. Before I get into this, let me just say
oh, boy,
that wrestling is dictated by what the dirt sheets want you to feel. I'm going to go on and say that. Wrestling is not dictated by how you feel by watching the product anymore. No. Instead, we can read a dirt sheet headline and we can dictate how we feel about these people just based on gossip that we know nothing about.
Sounds like the news.
So what we're hearing right now is that there was a spatter between Jungle Boy Jack Perry, who is not worth the money it's printed on, and CM Punk, who was your $1 million gate, your $1 million merchandise seller, your world champion, all that. All right. Like, here's the thing. Jack Perry, a few weeks ago, it was reported that CM Punk told him not to do a glass spot. He said, that's stupid. Multiple people told him not to do it. So he went up. Yeah, even Tony Schiavone said, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Everybody was telling him not to do that. So he went up to Punk. Or no, they went up to Punk and said, hey, go and tell this guy not to do that. So he went up and just said, no, you're not doing it.
See,
period.
And I'm like, and the whole thing with this is like, it's still got approved. That's the thing. And so he was very pride of, I want to do it. And then Tony Schiavone said no.
But
What
was it
was the-
approved?
Yes.
Was it approved?
According that
Okay.
he was going to do some glass spot. And
We're
it was
saying
approved.
according. So
Yeah.
allegedly.
Allegedly, it was approved somewhere. Okay. And Tony Schiavone told him, "Oh, well, it's not smart to do this." And he referred to, sorry if I don't have it on top of my head. It's been a headache with all this. I think it was like IWA Japan or something like some Japan show from like 97.
You need to go and
used
watch
to
this.
do.
I see.
You need to watch that. And I'm thinking, okay, there's a reason why we don't do this glass anymore. There's a lot of context not done in wrestling nowadays because of how dangerous it is. Didn't. I mean,
what have I said on this podcast from the beginning? I'm a fan of hardcore. I'm a fan of like doing the barbed wire spots and stuff like that. When you start getting into explosions, glass, that kind of thing is unpredictable. Fire.
And you're a newbie at this. This is the thing. You're a newbie. When Moxley and Kenny Omega did that glass spot.
Pronouns,
was
pal.
Like
Jack Perry's a newbie.
Yeah. He's
I've
a
been through
mid-card
my
guy.
fair share.
He's a mid-card if
kidding.
you want to be nice about it. You know?
Yeah.
I get it. He's enthusiastic to do all this stuff. But to use real glass,
you are being nice because he's not a mid-carder. He's that boy's an opener.
I'm using Cornette's word, a mid-card, if you will. Okay.
0 hour. That's all you got to say.
So, okay. And yeah, he was very convinced. I want to do the glass spot and this and that. If you're Kenny Omega, if you're John Moxley, you can do glass spots. You're freaking Jack Perry. I don't know what no disrespect, but your father didn't teach you so well. Sorry, Luke. But
come on, man. We can't be throwing their parents up in here.
This is ridiculous.
While Levi's saying my parents were lazy.
You have Tony Schiavone telling you, nah, you don't know anything. Dude, Tony Schiavone's been in the damn business in years. Okay, you don't, okay, I get it. You don't have any respect for CM Punk. I get it. He's telling you it's stupid. You're going to injure your stuff. I don't know what Anna Jay told him about all this crap to do this. I don't even know if Hook acknowledged any of this as well. I haven't heard of Hook's side, and we probably won't hear this. Eddie told him, don't do it. It's stupid. I don't care what you do. And it is stupid. Just ask Bill Goldberg how it felt when he did that with glass. Just ask Kurt Angle how it felt when Shane McMahon got thrown through glass. It's dumb. You want to go do that? This is AEW. This is not damn GCW. Go do it over there. Go do it with, their light tubes and all that crap. You're in the wrong company. And I get it's for a segment. Don't do it. It's stupid. You can be out for a couple weeks. And this idea about him, oh, well, I have a planned vacation. So you want to get injured to do a glass segment? Are you kidding me? Oh, what fits with the FTW fight? There's other things you can do, bro.
All right, so let's get into the meat and bones in this. What is going on? So before All In even hit pay-per-view, before it even went live for pay-per-view, Jungle Boy's on 0 hour. He comes out, he's grabbing Hook. Says the line, look, it's real glass, cry me a river. And we knew it was directed at Punk because of the stupid headlines that were released, a week or so ago about what he was told on Collision. So we're automatically thinking, uh-oh, that was against Punk. Punk's in the back. I don't know when he's coming out. I don't know what we're starting with. Sure enough, we start with CM Punk and Samoa Joe. But what goes on in the back, we don't know because there's so many crazy stories going on that Jungle Boy came up. Punk said, you got something to say. Jungle Boy, pie-faced him. He got choked out.
Allegedly.
And then
Two stories.
You got other stories that Punk shoved him. Jungle Boy shoved him. Monitors are getting thrown on Tony Khan. I heard this one story that just had me dying, and I actually brought it up in the chat. It was just so funny and ridiculous to hear. You got Punk saying, I hate this place, while he looks over at Tony Khan, who can't hear anything because he's wearing, headset, and he's smiling at CM Punk, giving him the thumbs up. Bro, I just can't. I wish that was the thumbnail of this video because that would have been the best moment of the night. Like, I don't know. Look, I don't know what happened. It's a sad thing that we're at AEW's greatest pay-per-view of all time. The biggest show that they've ever done. The biggest gate they've ever done. Their first stadium show. And and you know what? Sean Ross Sapp, as much as I say that he's more accurate than people like Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez, who I can't fucking stand and I'm sorry for cussing for everybody in the comments, but I cannot stand these two guys. because all they have done is push a narrative to hate CM Punk. Do I think CM Punk is wrong in this? Absolutely. Dude, walk for your fans. Just walk away. Enough is enough. Don't even but at the same time, it's this macho bullshit that goes on in professional wrestling, right? If we don't stand up to him, then nobody can ever listen to me because I'm the locker room leader. I get it. But at the same time, it's like, dude, we just got you back. You know what I mean?
You're
Like,
gonna hurt yourself.
There's a
I
lot of
understand.
fans that want to see you on a weekly. You just had your own show, Collision. We're trying to build up the relationship again with the Elite and CM Punk. This is something that we wanted to see, because the fans have been so split since then. It's just so crazy to think about that we are dropping the ball for AEW, and people like Sean Ross Sapp, who is in attendance for this event, is out here tweeting all these updates on what's going on in the back. My question is, who in the fuck is texting Sean Ross, hey, Jay, report this? You know what I mean? Like, this is going on right now in the backstage. Dude, AEW has got some stoogey-ass people in the backstage, and this should have been solved internally instead of externally and being reported. Sean Ross Sapp should have been enjoying All In, and instead he's reporting about CM Punk and Jungle Boy getting in a
I'm
spat
pretty sure
backstage.
a lot of fans, when they heard that, even in attendance, hear that. Just like, oh, I got to chime in, and look at what the hell's going on. You've had fans at attendance. I can't remember what side it was. I think it was like, I can't remember what side it was, but it was a fan that was near the ramp and said that the production team was going over the place. Samoa Joe was supposed to come out next. They had like these, I guess, square pieces locked in. They were twirling them in, then taking them back out, then putting it back in, and then they just got them ready on time, and Samoa Joe comes out. It's been allegedly reported that Samoa Joe broke up the fight. He had to convince Punk to get out there.
Samoa Joe said, "You ain't ruining my all-in moment."
No,
I see.
And I don't know who said this. I don't know if it was Tony or somebody else. They asked FTR and the Bucks if they would go on. No, we're not ready yet. They wanted Kenny and them to go out. They said, well, we can do it if we need to. And then Samoa Joe said, I'm doing this damn match. Let's do it now. So Joe convinced Punk in every way possible. We just got updates from Sean Ross Sapp about the whole narrative story of Miro and Punk. They were dicking around, if you will. The stories were coming out. They were talking smack. Punk was pissed off, wanted to fight him. Now it's coming out. They were just joking around. He asked him, how are you doing? Let me see. So according to what was said to him
hold on a second. Is Rafael Delighetto, shout out, man. Thanks for joining the chat, aka Sick. He also says, I said it once, I'll say it again. Hardcore Holly for AEW GM. He wants hardcore.
We actually
James,
agreed here.
You want hardcore Holly for GM?
I mean, can he
do
can
you?
It? Yeah, right. But we
I
both
do.
agreed.
That'd be great.
Give me that or give me Cornette. I've said it before, and you've heard me. Cornette, I don't know what he's doing nowadays. I don't even know if he cares to come back. Cornette would be the one to.
Everybody would be fired. Everybody would be fired. And
he wouldn't be. Yeah, no, he wouldn't tolerate this. He'd deal with this.
Let's chat out some comments real quick so we can catch up before we get too far behind because we got the chat going crazy here. Levi says, thank you. None of us were there. It's all he said, she said crap. Everything Pro Wrestling says, in comes Christian Cage. Did someone mention a parent? Christian Cage's ears perked up.
Yeah.
Oh, man. You guys are too cold. Just sent an update on Twitter.
Yeah. That might be the one, but I'm
okay.
Not sure.
I'll check the DM in just a second. Steve Kelly, what's going on, brother?
How's it going,
I just seen Steve Kelly at a baseball game last weekend. So Saturday, right before we started watching All In the next day, was at a baseball game. Seeing Steve, man, good to see him healthy. Good to see him rolling around. It's good to see you, man. Thanks for joining the chat. I appreciate you. He says, hey guys, sorry I'm late. We're just happy you're here, man. Everything Pro Wrestling welcoming Steve. Levi says, I'll go to Prestige and watch Drexel if I need a death match. Leave it off AEW 0 Hour. Steve Kelly says, "Let me in." Shout out to Bray Wyatt. Yeah, Steve, you missed the Bray
Easily.
Wyatt talk. Go back and watch it though when we're done with this, man, because I did have a lot to say. We had a lot to say about Bray Wyatt, and so did the chat. So I really appreciate that. Levi also says, "We've seen Punk fight. He ain't choking nobody out." Oh man,
I don't know. That little
Everything Pro Wrestling brokenhearted for it. Well, yeah, to Jungle Boy, who has no training in MMA, I think Punk could choke him out.
that little
But-
twerp, that 150 pounder.
What was it that Jim Cornette used? What was the term?
Oh man, you just said it earlier, man. We
I
watched
did.
that, and that was
that had me
Conrad
popping,
would
dude.
know, but that got me popping.
Dude, oh my god,
boy,
that's too much, man. That had me
Goozle.
crying. Goozled, yeah.
Goozle.
He goozled him, just goozled him. Oh, it's so funny, man. Easy E says, "I hope he figures it out because I love seeing him." Yeah, I love seeing Punk too, man. That's what sucks. I think pro wrestling is better with the Elite and Punk on the same side. All Elite wrestling was thriving when these guys were all good. There were no fights. None of that was going on. There's even videos coming out where, Punk was holding, Jungle Boy, and they were just sitting there and they were singing to the crowd. Like, it was just good, wholesome moments, dude. I don't know what went wrong. I do know what went wrong. Colt freaking Cabana is what went wrong. We threw the bag away for Colt freaking Cabana is what happened. Six says, I said it. Oh wait, no, that's the comment that I got earlier. Everything Pro Wrestling said, same, easy. Then he also says, Sick Mark Henry. So he's talking to Sick. Mark Henry was right too. He said sometimes you need a kick in the rear censored.
Booker T said the same thing. It happens in this company. People are gonna butt heads. It's normal. Yeah. And social media is the big deprivement.
He said, "Punk, don't hand me no lines and keep your hands to yourself." Don't hand me no lines and keep your hands to yourself. You heard that? What do you know about that, James? What do you know about that?
No, I don't.
I need some new friends. Levi says they gave Punk a belt for no reason, which he immediately sprayed an X'd out the Elite and All Elite Wrestling. You sure we're rebuilding the bridge with the Elite? Where was he supposed to put the X, Levi? Were you supposed to put it on the side or in the corner? We're just gonna X
just
out.
how about the middle and just get rid of the E. Welcome to A&W.
A&W. That root beer don't play, son.
Yeah, don't get Danhausen started about A&W.
Ain't no hot dog like an A&W hot dog. I'm just saying. Steve Kelly says at Levi, CM Punk never lost the belt. Facts. He's your real world's champion. Real. Everything Pro Wrestling said, Levi, where else is the X gonna go? LOL. Byron's back at it again. We need a new mode for WWE 2K24 survival mode. Thanks for keeping that WWE 2K24 talk alive, even though we're not talking about WWE 2K24 right now, but I appreciate that. Gabe, where did you go to? I don't know where he's talking about that. That must have been a really late comment, but Levi said he was officially stripped of the belt, so how did he never lose it? Well, I don't know, man. I'm just saying he never lost. He was never pinned for it. So, he says, imagine
so was Thunder Rosa, but
don't be bringing up Cowboy Bill Watts here, man. We're gonna start taking off the ring mats around the ring and no top rope moves, and also, man, Phoenix and Penta and Commander and everybody, they're all out of a job. The Elite, anybody who jumps off the top rope, man, they ain't gonna be able to put on
my
good
solution to
no
all
more.
this, and everybody gives me crap for it. I've already said it, and I'm gonna say it again. You ain't gonna change my mind. Just do Brawl for All, Tony. Just do it one time. Give it to me. I'll pay for it.
James,
$50 for it.
Hashtag Brawl for It All is not gonna make it. Just give it up, dude. Just give it up. Nobody wants to see Brawl for It All.
Just do it one time. Put Jungle Boy and CM Punk in the ring. Just do it one time, or anybody else. Line them up. You get your ass kicked, you're gone. Fired.
He said, classic storyline, to be honest. Levi said, why was the belt necessary to begin with? Again, he was stripped, officially stripped. But here's the thing. He was officially stripped, and so was the Young Bucks. But the Young Bucks sure did get their trios titles back. Did they not? We had the best of 7.
This man was
we got the trios titles back.
This man had the title, though. He just got the belt in the bag and got the title.
It was a good storyline. It was a good storyline.
I get it. It was anticipating for MJF and CM Punk. I get it.
Yep.
I understand the context, and they wanted to do it. They needed they didn't want to do the SmackDown route and Raw route of just having one champion. So let's do two, and then where it was going to go. So I get it.
Everything Pro Wrestling said. Will Bill Watts calls up Hank Aaron. He also says plays brawl for it all music for James.
Yep. We already got Brawl in. We got Brawl out. What's next?
Jeez. Easy E says, laugh my ass off. Bill Watts ain't getting not one of them names. You said right. Not a chance. Yeah. That good Commander. Yeah, he's gone. He's gone. That flipping crap off the top ropes, he's out of here. That John Moxley throwing people to the outside and cutting them up, out of here. We're going to take away the mats so that way John Moxley can get busted open the hard way. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Bill Watts was something else, man. Levi says, so where does the belt rank? Right above the FTW title? The world title? That world title has not been ranked since the international title has been around, but the international title is the most prestigious title in my mind in AEW right now. It's the one that's defended the most. Orange Cassidy has yet to be beaten for it. MJF is going against a whole bunch of people on the roster that is just continuously easy to predict a victory for MJF. There is not,
but it's been good.
It's been good. It's been good, but the title doesn't have that much prestige, is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? So it is what it I'm gonna get to Easy's comment in a minute. Right here. It says, Byron Cutler at it again. We need ambulance match in WWE 2K24. Easy's comment right here. Pentagram Commander, get in here. Get in here. Oh, that's too much, man. Everything Pro Wrestling says. Punk versus Nick Jackson, round one. Punk versus Nick Jackson, Butterbean versus Jack Perry.
Hey, don't mess around with Butterbean.
Miro versus Omega, Jackson versus Iron Mike Tyson, Hangman Page versus JD Drake. Now wait a second. We're giving the Elite some pretty hard contenders in this first round of the Brawl for It All. Jackson, we're gonna say Matt Jackson versus Iron Mike Tyson. Like Jack Perry's gonna go up against Butterbean. These guys are getting wrecked, bro.
Man, Butterbean is.
That's a lot. That's a lot right there, man.
Don't even mess with Mike. Mike,
Let me see here. Easy E says Buck's getting DQ'd every match. Yeah, every time they even touch the top rope. You're out of here. Levi says I'll quit. Just wanted to get my opinion out there on the fake world title. No, you're good, Levi. You're good. Like I said, man, there's a lot of people that say what they want about what's going on with Punk. I don't know what side of the fence you land on. Look, like I said before, I'm an Elite fan and a CM Punk fan. I think the world of wrestling is better with all of them getting along together. I actually liked the storyline going on with CM Punk and the real world title because I thought it was going to lead to a match with MJF, which is where we were headed until all this crap happened. But yeah.
Need that Big Show right there.
Yeah, so it is what it is. Byron Cutler at it again, man. We need cinematic matches in WWE 2K24. Hey, Byron, what do you think of AEW right now? The current state of AEW and what we're talking about. Easy says Road Warrior Buck versus Tyson. Oh, we're going too hard right here. He says, I love Punk, but actions speak louder than words. I agree, man. Punk, This whole situation is terrible for Punk fans. I'm going to go on and say it. Like, we don't know what happened, first of all. I'm going to go on and state that.
We know what happens from like 10 different accounts we do, according to everybody.
Yeah. So you got, allegedly what happened in 10 different scenarios. But we don't know exactly what happened. It sounds like CM Punk has quit AEW. He went off on Tony Khan. Some monitors fell on him. CM Punk took his clothes off and ran away butt naked in the streets of London. I don't know, man. There's a lot of stuff going on.
No one greeting him at the airport. He had to travel to train. Supposed to get into fights with Miro. That's BS. They were just dicking around, saying, "No, you want to get it. You want to get it on in the ring. yeah, and they were joking around, but
Yeah.
the little subliminal hints of Miro tweeting about about getting a taxi over there in UK. It's all bad, and then it's so bad to see this. I was already like, how I was. The Conrad and Jesse I was just tired of the CM
You
Punk
got some
news.
breaking news, right? Like from what Conrad sent us.
Yeah,
Coming from Sean Ross Sapp. Go ahead and read that.
It was about. I don't know if there was another one. The one I got was that it was the interaction with Miro and CM Punk taken out of context. According to mutual sources, Miro approached Punk, asked how he was doing. The two joked about fighting each other, taking it to the ring. They laughed, and that's it. Everything else was, going off of, they want, Punk was pissed off. He was going to fight him.
It sounds all really weird because Miro and CM Punk, they're both on the same show. And Miro's been CM Punk was exiled to. You're not allowed on Dynamite.
And Miro was like, I was wrestling purist getting some news about this. He was replying like this was fake and untrue. So he's been acknowledging this too. The wrestlers, Brody Lee was pissed off, or Brody Lee, my apologies. Brody King was pissed off about the whole thing. Supposedly kicked the trash can. I know
Punch Punk some walls, whatever.
Supposedly punching walls. People were, with what Punk's side, Jungle Boy, same thing. It's all a hellhole. The Stooges, and I don't watch BT anymore because it's just damn right boring. If other people watch it, good for you.
They put Cole Cabana on that shit, man. I'm not watching BT and Cole Cabana on it all the time.
The one clown Stooge, I don't forget his name. I forgot his name was that do the whole thing of we're the filler bucks. That's an AEW travel coordinator, puts it on his bio, then takes it off. Supposedly they fumbled it and gave Punk a number that was bounced back, invalid. He didn't know where the hell he was going. Fans helped him out. I don't even know how legitimate that photo was of him in the subway, but he got his way there. There's reports that no one greeted him when Julia Hart and the House of Black were hanging out with him. So I don't know what in the hell is going on here. But Levi the Stooge doing this, and yeah, they do the little things on BT, like they're showing off and they got a cab themselves. I don't know what the hell's going on. It's not the same. People have mentioned it. They should have an Undertaker in their locker room. There's children in this company. It don't matter. You can bring Brock Lesnar in there for all they care. They'll find any way to nitpick. These guys do not care. It's a generation.
At this point, if it's not what the elite want, then you ain't doing it.
And for all I know, it could be planned this whole time. Like, hey, let's poke the border. Let's piss them off. Punk is that, defensive lineman, that's the thing. I was taught that when I played ball. Try to piss off the other lineman and do everything. Hold them as much as you can until the ref sees him go off. You're doing everything wrong, but in the way it's right. So to see them blow up, it's going to be more on them. He's going to get more of a presence. He's a veteran. He shouldn't be doing it. He's going to get more crap for it. It's just like at your job. If a veteran messes up compared to a rookie, who's going to get more crap for it? The veteran, regardless. That's just how the context is.
Levi says it's been hard since All Out, bro. That's a fact. And then he says, need Jim Carrey from Liar Liar to talk to Punk. Quit breaking the law, asshole. Yeah, I love it. I love that movie, dude. I love the pin is blue. Everything Pro Wrestling says. Exiled sounds Christian AF, dude. Banished, whatever you want. Look, he was put on one show, and that is that. And then Levi says, even what you just said, Punk not allowed on a show, that is bad for business. That's what we're getting at, man. Like, look, we didn't like a roster split in WWE. What gives AEW the right to roster split and think that we want that? We don't want that.
Now,
we want them.
Do we know? I don't know if anybody has acknowledged. Did they ever do that in WWE? There probably was some enemies in the company that didn't like each other, and they put one person on Raw, one person on SmackDown, or Vince just said, "Hell with it. You're working together. You don't like it. You're gone."
Six says he's on BTE. They're talking about Colt Cabana. They put Colt Cabana at everything but an effing.
They put
ring.
Brandon Cutler and Colt Cabana on Ring of Honor, and I know you're going to AEW for Collision, so have fun with that one.
Yeah, and the only reason I'm going is because I thought I was going to see CM Punk.
We
But
don't
it
know
looks
yet.
like
We'll see what
that's not
happens.
going to be the case. So if I'm not seeing CM Punk, then you better give me something good. I better be getting the House of Black
The
or something.
Elite.
I don't know.
That's
Yeah,
what you're getting in
I'm
return.
okay with seeing the Elite. I still, like I said, I'm a fan of the Elite, but this whole thing between them two is just, it's so frustrating, dude. As wrestling fans, what's more frustrating is, hold on, let's get comments and then I'll get to it. It says, Six says, not that I care, he sucks. Everything Pro Wrestling says, how about
Yep.
travel, dude? Like anti-Punk tweets, yeah, it's ridiculous, dude. Like, wrestling fans just had a situation with Bray Wyatt and Terry Funk. We just lost two amazing people. Two amazing people. And then we're going into All In, where all wrestling fans should have taken this in as their, like, let's just appreciate pro wrestling, right? But no, we got fans still at one another until the next person loses their life, God forbid. But when that person loses their life, then everybody can come together and agree again. It's ridiculous that it has to come to that. Like, we all love the same thing, but we got so much cancel culture stuff going on and so many sensitive fans in professional wrestling that CM Punk or anything reported against him, which it really is an anti-CM Punk campaign going on out there. That is what's going on. If you look at Twitter and you have, like, I don't even follow a single dirt sheet, James, but yet they're all popping up in my For You because I'm tweeting out for CM Punk. So if I'm tweeting something of CM Punk, I'm seeing all the news about CM Punk.
Yeah.
So now I've got everybody just popping up in my feed, and it's a straight anti-CM Punk campaign. Look, the dude's career is ruined because of them. There's probably no coming back from this. If I was Punk, I would just call it quits. Maybe go to WWE. I don't know. But AEW is not going to be a good place for him if nobody can welcome him in and try to fix a broken issue. You know what I mean? It's just, it sucks. It does, because I want to see CM Punk in AEW. I don't want to see him in WWE. I've already seen that. I like what he was doing in AEW. So, but the whole situation is right. Like, CM Punk does get himself into these situations. You know what I mean? Like, he blows stuff out of proportion, and he does it himself. He doesn't think about his fans. But at the same time, when you're poking the bear 24/7, what do you want this guy to do, man? Like, he's got to defend himself at some point. It's just, it's crazy,
man. It's just all over the place. It's like we're almost to the 1 year anniversary since everything happened, and here we are with different people getting into fights. Punk with Ryan Nemeth, Punk with Jungle Boy, for goodness sakes. You know, I don't know if anybody has context. I've never heard anybody like fighting in guerrilla. I've never heard of that before. It probably has happened back in the day that we don't know about. But the fact that this is happening, the fact that a match we don't even know if that match would have gone on. They might have just canceled it, for all we know. Luckily, Joe did everything. He's tweeting out, about friendships and all that. Hopefully this didn't, mess up anything. I mean, let's see. I mean, and AEW has done this stuff before. Like, when they brought Cole Cabana the one time for AEW to show up on AEW, fought Chris Jericho. You recall that. They threw that little stuff in there. Who's approving it? Probably Tony. Why he's doing it? I guess just for haha. I don't know what the hell's going on. I still haven't got an answer. I've been asking for everyone. Why was Jack Perry on freaking Collision? I thought he didn't like going there because of Punk. I get it was taped the same day. You couldn't put him on Dynamite, so you put him on Collision. But why was he there in the first place? I don't understand that. You have
also sending, people who he's had trouble with, Adam Hangman Page. It's like they're not thinking straight. Like, let's send Adam Hangman Page to Collision while CM Punk's there, and then all those. So everything leading up to All In was just CM Punk, anti-CM Punk, anti-CM Punk. It was just all poking the bear. CM Punk did this, he did this, he did this. So they already had that agenda. Let's get CM Punk on something before All In, and then maybe he can just not be a part of All In. I don't know what their agenda was specifically for that, but
I don't.
Then All In right before CM Punk, or right as CM Punk's match is happening, we get the reports. So it's just funny, man. Timing is everything, James.
And I gotta say this: with the fans, we seen signs in the crowd that obviously was towards CM Punk, like, you know, best of the world of being a bitch. You know, Pepsi is a soft drink. You know, we seen little things like that. The one fan that was talking about everything going on with the production people, he said a Punk sign got confiscated. You know, and that gets to Punk. We just seen it when he did that little shoot on Hangman Page about, you know, about the action figures and not being a peg warrior. He got fines for it, supposedly. You know, should he have done that? No, he shouldn't have done that. Just like, you know, Hangman did his thing, and then Punk decided, let me call him out while he's over there in catering. You know, should he add more fuel to the fire and protect his name? I understand it, but then I understand.
I mean, what do you do in that? Do you just lay back and let it happen? At this point, like, the dude has lived his career. He's done his career. He's done it all.
Yeah. Now the point is, does he have as much power as Hulk Hogan? No, because Hogan would just get someone fired. You know, Punk, I don't know if he has that power to do that. Or hell, just go to Tony and see what Tony does.
The problem is, James, is that it wasn't just anybody that he had the problem with. It was the people that started the company. That's the problem.
And the point, and I think he's going to have to understand, you're not going to win with these guys. Tony's not going to let you go. He's not going to let them go. So it's either work together or I'm just going to do everything in my power to split you up. And
more issues.
I've said it numerous of times. You got to get them in the freaking room. You don't want to work with her, you're gone. I don't care how much value you are. You're not going to damage my reputation for this company, and we're going to lose somebody off of this. You're not going to do it. I get it. Tony Khan is like that. He's getting to that Vince McMahon of, I don't want to lose this person. I don't want to lose this person because they're there to grab him. Well, this might just bite you in the rear end. Not every person.
You know what's crazy is, like, for the heart and soul of AEW, as the Elite claim, I felt like Adam Hangman Page and Kenny Omega had the worst match on All In. I'm not saying it's bad, because I enjoyed that one too. I enjoyed every match on All In, but if I had to pick a least favorite, it was that one. Definitely. There's no storyline going in with the Elite. They're not really doing anything. The build up, even for FTR and the Young Bucks, wasn't that good. It was just calling each other out. That's all it was. It was the match that we were supposed to get 2 years ago, and we just didn't get it. So Steve Kelly says, I'm going to GTS someone in AEW. Please do. Six says, shout out to my 3 Colt Cabana fans. That's a fact. Levi says they didn't even roster split. They just Punk split. That's exactly. Byron Cutler added again. 36 years of SummerSlam showcase would have 50 matches. I would probably go for 40 years of WrestleMania at this point, not a SummerSlam deal. But Steve Kelly says I agree 100%. Jesse. Everything Pro Wrestling says, every picture is Punk online, basically, is what he's talking about. Every comment is what Punk did. Sick is saying the algorithm is at its finest. That's a fact. Mm-hmm. Steve Kelly says, don't poke the bear. Levi says, all of Wembley booed Punk's ass out of the building, and he was booked as a 100% face. I agree. It is over. I don't think he was booked as face in this. I think that he came out.
He was doing heel
because
tactics.
Before he was about to do It's Clobbering Time, he stopped and he went out. He was doing heel stuff.
He was deemed to be a heel. If you go back, there's a video I saw when he was like swinging like a pendulum in the ropes, going back and forth, up and down. MJF did that to him, I think, or somebody did that to him, and it was a heel. And I think that was the context. He was just going to turn heel. But this whole thing, it's just so exhausting.
Everything Pro Wrestling says, I'm over it. They hurt Punk's money, his character, and it's a no-win situation unless TK gets off his ass and makes everyone talk. If not, this will just keep effing happening. It's a fact. It's a fact.
It's laughable when you have to hear, an investigation is pending. I'm like, I've never heard this in WWE. It's laughable to Jim Cornette when he hears this. There's some actions that need to be done. I get it, Tony. You don't want to lose nobody, but someone's going to have to be reprimanded. I've said this. Has he ever fired anybody? No, he's never fired anybody. Does he have the balls to fire anybody? I don't know if he does. He needs to learn from his father that runs an NFL freaking team. You think he's going to have an NFL player demand money and make his team a mockery? He'll trade him off if he needs to. You're not going to let them hold your team accountable. Don't let a wrestler anybody hold your company accountable.
I agree. Everything Pro Wrestling says also was Punk fined, but no one else has been. It's being reported that it was in the 5 figures that Punk was fined for what he said about Adam Hangman Page. Yes, that's another thing that I read today. I'm just staying off the internet at this point because it's just like I am so disappointed in the wrestling community that after this incredible accomplishment that AEW has done, All In, all we are talking about is Jack Perry and CM Punk and what happened behind the stage. We got elite fans that are so bent out of shape about CM Punk that we just want to see him gone, right? Like, that's all they want. They just want to see him gone. And then everybody's going to be, I don't know, everybody's going to be happy, I guess. But that's the agenda right now. We're pushing to get rid of CM Punk. I don't know. Levi says this match should have been Omega versus Switchblade. Would have been way better. Yeah, exactly. I was the first person to say, why are we putting Omega in a trios match at Wembley? He should be in a singles match.
Yeah,
100%.
I think so. And I think the only reason was context of, and you're probably going to have this for next year's show because of All Out's the following week. So they don't want no injury mishaps going on because then what if they can't do All Out? That's the only reason I can think they did that and squeezed everyone in the card. Was it entertaining match? It was, but I would prefer Kenny doing a singles match.
Oh, geez. I see Chris Williams in the chat. Levi, I'm not even going to pop his comments up. I already done told this boy, man. I'm going to read them. I'll read them. I'll read them, but I'm not going to pop them up. Yeah.
Come on, Chris.
Levi says, I've been wrong before, LOL. I just remember Joe choking Punk out from the crowd. Punk still panders on Collision, etc. Took it as Joe heel, Punk face.
Yes.
Well, it didn't seem like that in the crowd. Like, I felt like CM Punk was doing the heel thing. Chris Williams says, I want to see some firings. Everything Pro Wrestling says CM Punk also didn't start these situations, but Punk can't use a rocket launcher and people catch strays either. He needs to relax and think before actions. TK needs to step up. 100%, man. 100%. Julian Harris, welcome to the chat.
Yes.
He says they say an investigation when the boss was present for it to.
That's
what I definitely understand. Laughable.
You're in the corner. What you're in the corner. You see what they're just. I mean, what are they shouting in excitement? You're getting monitors thrown on you.
He didn't know. He was smiling and giving the thumbs up.
And I'm
dude.
thinking, okay, what
Punk's
about
over
everybody
here
else
screaming? I hate this place. TK.
Was he? For all I know, was he doing the same thing? Was he there cheering? All right, CM Punk. It's like, is he just?
So
I'm just gonna
dude.
let them do their own thing. I got something to focus on. Let them do it. I'll focus on it later.
I'm gonna have to make a thumbnail for that, dude. And
I guess the only difference is instead of no comment, we got there's an investigation. So that's something,
Oh man, that's
we can't wait till what's his name, the reporter that went off on him. Let's see if he wants to bug him again about a whole thing.
Yeah. So 6 says, does anybody else besides me find it hilarious that Punk put Jack Perry in a head like he was an older brother picking on his little brother? It is funny, dude. It is funny.
I can see it. I can see it. Yeah, I can see it.
Towers over Jack Perry.
Yeah, because what is Jack Perry's height? I mean, Jack Perry has to be like 5'9", even smaller than that.
Yeah, he's got to be about as tall as me, man. I'm 5'10", so I don't know. Steve Kelly says Kenny Omega is better singles wrestler for sure.
5'10", 26, and Punk is what? Like, what's Punk's height? I don't know it on top of my head.
Everything Pro Wrestling says it's for protection, the investigation to avoid bias from a legal perspective. Yeah,
6'2".
Investigation though, when Tony Khan is sitting right there where it happened, is a little absurd, but whatever.
I mean, what did you think? They just bumped into their monitors. Whoops. And then, all right, go on. It's like, come on.
If Joe literally had to break this up, if that is what happened, TK's seen it all. There is no need for an investigation.
For all I know, who knows? Let's see what Joe says too. Like, do I want to come back to work? Do I want to deal with this? What's going to happen? Did he, did Punk quit? Is he, we don't know. And I can tell you this, Warner Bros. Discovery is probably pissed off. Like, hey, there's no CM Punk Collision. Well, then we don't want this because we based it around this damn dude. Are we gonna have another intern real world champion? Is Moxley gonna have to put his vacation on the side? You know,
Oh, Steve
it's
Kelly
like,
says TK had no clue.
speaking of this, I want to see, has Chris Jericho said anything? I mean, he was the one that CM Punk would never be allowed in this locker room.
I don't know, man, but you got a lot of people retweeting stuff. All you got to do is go to the AEW locker room and you'll see who's retweeting the dirt sheet reports or whatever. Because I did see that on Twitter, and I'll tell you what, man, that tells me who certain stooges are, is the people that are retweeting stuff like this. Brandon Cutler. So yeah, it's crazy. Chris Williams says TK seems like a yes man and an enabler. Letting all this BS fly. Be a man. Fire Perry, bro. He's a literally nobody. Who you gonna choose, him or Punk? Exactly. That's where I'm at too, man. That's where I'm at. Steve Kelly says, "I will go and be AEW champion." Steve Kelly, you better bring that. Are you're not, you're not 1 mil Phil, so you better bring that 1 mil.
One choke.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, one choke Punk.
Well, I'll tell you this, man. It's a sad thing to see, like I said, during All In, their greatest accomplishment after the death of Bray Wyatt, which is just the most horrible news that we could receive. Terry Funk the night before, that we're talking about this crap. We're right back to being petty in pro wrestling, and it just sucks. And CM Punk, we're supposed to get on All Out in Chicago. Now this poor Chicago crowd is left with probably the worst pay-per-view card that I've seen AEW ever put on. Well, let's just dive into it, man. Kenny Omega versus Takeshita is probably your match of the night. That is all you get.
That we know of. Yeah, there might be more added.
Yeah, well, there's got to be more added. You know how they do that. They're just going to
MJF, I'm pretty sure he was going to go on the card, but
Ruby Soho versus Chris Statlander is not the match I want to see. It's not. I'm sorry, it's just not it for me.
It's not Demon, but I get it. You got to include it.
I want to see Chris Statlander give Jade Cargill a rematch. That's what I want to see. Miro versus Powerhouse Hobbs. Nobody cares. Like I'm not into
and it's
this,
funny.
man.
It's funny.
Darby Allin versus Luchasaurus for the TNT title. What are we doing with this card, man? Like, this is what we're selling for $50 a week after we just charged everybody $50 for probably the greatest pay-per-view that AEW's ever put on in All In. And then this is probably the match that I'm most excited for, to be honest. Orange Cassidy versus the winner of, whoever wins out of Orange Cassidy and Penta this Wednesday will face Jon Moxley for the international title. This I like. And regardless of who it is, if it's Penta or Jon Moxley, possibly getting that title, I'm down with it, dude. Like that's the only match that I'm really excited for. And Kenny versus Takeshita too.
Tony, you said that you had some changes to do to the card. Well, I think you're gonna have some again, bud.
Oh,
is FTR fighting on the card? Are you gonna have to include the Bucks? MJF, I'm pretty sure he was gonna be on the card. You got Miro and Power of Hobbs, which were there, helping Punk out. Are they going to be in the card still, or are they going to say, no, we're putting you on a Collision? Sorry, you sided with Punk.
Steve Kelly says, oh, wait, no, I already read that one. Byron Cutler at it again, man. We need a Survivor Series showcase. Byron, do you watch professional wrestling? I just want to know, or do you just play the video games? Let me know in them comments. Steve Kelly says, I can run them over. Let's not say that on YouTube ever again. Steve Kelly says, we lost Funk, Wyatt, and Barker in the same week. Yeah. And then we're over here talking about drama. Stupid stuff.
And NXT, by the way, did acknowledge Bray Wyatt with the chair. Just
good stuff.
Just throw in.
Good stuff. Easy E says, I ain't paying 1 red cent if Punk is not on All Out.
I'm kind of on the same thing, so I'll save my $50.
At the end of the day, hey, it's your turn to buy a pay-per-view, bud.
Well,
it's your
there's
turn.
some changes due to unforeseen circumstances.
Subject to change.
My wallet's subject to change.
Oh man. So, in other news too, Wrestle Dream is coming to Seattle, so we get a pay-per-view that's not Full Gear. Well, that sucks. We were supposed to get Full Gear, but James ended up taking that, and now we get Wrestle Dream, which is filled with New Japan Pro Wrestling, which, if you know me personally, not the biggest fan of New Japan Pro Wrestling. I don't hate it, but I don't love it either. Like, I'd rather have a
Ryan
full-on
Danielson is
AEW.
in love with that now.
Well, maybe we get Danielson on that card, hopefully. I don't know.
You probably get
I don't know.
Darby and Swerve and
He
probably
might still be
Nick
injured.
Wayne. You'll get those guys on there, I would presume.
Oh, I'm sure. Levi says, at the end of the day, it's not AEW's business how I do at my job, especially behind closed doors. So what business is it of ours? What happened? Let them handle it. Be here for the wrestling. 100%. 100%. It's not going to happen in the wrestling world, not with the fans.
It's like, okay, it's like the TikTok I saw. I follow Vito on Twitter. You know, obviously you guys know him with the WCW, wearing the dress on WWE. He has said it in the best way I can think. Back in the day, you didn't have social media. The boys had their problems. They talk about it. You know, you didn't hear about the fights. Nowadays, social media is there. You got to bring them in the locker room. You got to sit them down, talk, do whatever. Let them squash the beef or whatever. That's it. You're not doing something right, you're gone. You're fired. That's the simple context of it. That's the simpleness of this.
Steve Kelly said that's a great match. Tokyo the Menace says MJF and Adam Cole defend ROH tag titles at All Out. Yeah, that probably. Yeah, I could see that.
They'll probably defend. Yeah, that's probably going to be the most case scenario. Fill everything in there as much as they can.
Byron Cutler says Bray Wyatt Hall of Fame 2024. I agree, man. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Easy E says James, like the way my bank account is set up.
You see, there's these bills that came up.
When is Danielson getting his CMLL run? I don't know. He did want to go to Mexico, right? So
I presume
he did want to go to Japan as well. So I don't really know, man. How you guys feeling in the chat? Let me know how you feeling about the All Out card. That is definitely what I want to talk about. Am I alone in feeling like this card is just really not up to par? It doesn't nearly fit the bill for an All Out. Last year's All Out was really good, and then afterwards we dealt with the Brawl Out. So, but the card last year was really good. I enjoyed it.
I'm kind of scared for these wrestlers because no Punk, you're in Chicago. They're going to take it over. It's going to be a warning to Tony Khan. These fans will hijack the show just like they've done it for WWE at Royal Rumbles. They will boo everything possible. They will chant, "We want CM Punk." They'll do everything in their power. So that's going to be interesting of how the crowd reacts to this. Do you have the galls and put the Bucks on the show? Do you put Jungle Boy on the show if anything happens with this investigation? It's going to be interesting what this crowd, what's the attendance going to be for the show? Because I heard numerous of people already say, if this is true, I want to sell my ticket. Who wants it?
I'm not sure, but there's a lot of tickets still for sale, so I'm not really sure about that. It's questionable, man. It's good. And the thing about Tony Khan is he wants to keep tradition. So Wembley is getting All In again next year. All Out is going back to Chicago next year. So we're keeping tradition. And here's the kicker. We're doing it back-to-back weeks again. This is what he wants to continue doing on the regular. He has confirmed that from the press release.
The reason he's doing it, according to him, was for the holiday, for Labor Day, or what he calls the bank holiday.
He wants it to be tradition. He wants it to be bank holiday and then Labor Day weekend over here in the States. He wants the tradition built in AEW.
Which we know which show's going to be the bigger deal. And let's see, you're going to have some issues. What if somebody gets injured at the other show? Then you got to make other calls. You know, could there be some additions and fixes in the later years? There could be, you know.
Yeah. So,
but he's taking the chance.
Tokyo the Menace says All Out card feels weak. Chris Williams says needs some payback talk, man. AEW, that's not happening because payback is just not on my radar this year either, man. Levi, I'm gonna watch Payback, but there's nothing really to talk about.
Have some drama, WWE.
Yeah, there's nothing really to talk about when it comes to that. Levi,
give me a backstage fight. Come on, give me something.
He's saying that All In says this card didn't look amazing, but still delivered. All Out could be similar. That's true. And AEW has done it multiple times, so you're right, Levi. It could happen. Could happen. Easy E says, how much were NWA TNA weekly pay-per-views? 10, 20 bones? I think so. Yeah, 20 bucks, something like that. So I'm hoping that we're getting a streaming service announcement here soon, and hopefully we don't have to pay an extra price on top of our subscription already. So hopefully they do it in tiers. If you want AEW pay-per-views, then it's, $25 a month for Max. That's fine. I'm cool with that.
Right.
Byron says Bray Wyatt cover star of WWE 2K24. We'll see, man. We'll see. I think it's going to be Cody, but could happen. Easy E says I hope Chicago shows their ass. And Levi says and you can't book matches based off of how fans feel, or fans will cheer / boo. That's literally their right. They paid for a ticket. Let them cheer boo when they want. Punk is awesome. Not the wrestling god though. That's true. That's true, man. Let me see. NWA TNA was cheap. Everything Pro Wrestling said. He also says, I feel like a few bucks. Yeah. So, well, I appreciate everybody coming to the chat, man. You guys were live tonight. I really appreciate that. A lot of subjects to talk about, man. I love diving into the whole Bray Wyatt. It's unfortunate that we got to talk about this drama that is happening in AEW after one of their most
Brian
successful
Alvarez
pay-per-views
still talking, bro. Jeez.
Yeah. I'm sure
he just said this. He's like, I was the first person to report the mural story, and not one person out of 5 who told me the story said these guys were joking. They all said it was a serious issue. Right after I told the story, first people claimed it never happened. Then a few hours later, they were joking.
Of course, yeah, because Brian Alvarez is only looking for clicks. That's why I don't like Brian Alvarez or Dave Meltzer, man. These guys are the ones that pointed out the narrative and put that out there to get rid of CM Punk, because CM Punk called them on their shit. That's what it is, man. I would say Dave is a historian when it comes to wrestling, but his journalism skills are crap. Like, I get out of here with that. Like, and if you pay for the Observer, man, I find something else to waste your money on. You know what I mean?
Oh man, that's just throwing water under the bridge.
Yeah, it's just find something else to waste your money on. It's crazy. He says Punk isn't JBL. He's not the wrestling god.
Oh, there's a lot of things JBL will do.
He says, Levi says, I'll try to catch more. This was interesting. Please do, man. Please do. Enjoyed having you in here. Yeah, guys, we're going to be dropping some more content too. So just keep an eye out for that tomorrow. I got some editing to finish up today, and I should have a video ready for you tomorrow on WWE 2K24. So make sure you are sticking around for that. Other than that, man, if you're not already following us on social media, I suggest you do so, man. At the Pro Wrestling Shoot everywhere. On X, this banner's a little old because we got that Twitter logo right there, but we're on X. So at the Pro Wrestling Shoot everywhere, TikTok including. If you're watching on the audio platforms or listening on the audio platforms, you can also watch this stream on Spotify as well, because we put the video version on Spotify. So if you're watching on Spotify, make sure to give us that 5-star rate and a friendly review, man. It helps us in that algorithm for Spotify. So yeah. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. We go live every single Tuesday at 5 p.m., James.
Yep, every single Tuesday. Drama or drama not, we're still here.
We're still talking pro wrestling, man. That is the way of it. Guys, I'm sorry for everybody that was affected by the loss of Bray Wyatt and Terry Funk, because I know I was. It was a real situation, and still is hard to believe, man. But I think that I just want to send us out with a tribute again for good old Bray Wyatt. So I'm Jesse Carter, man. He's James Pinard Jr., and we'll see you next week right here on the Pro Wrestling Shoot.
We're sharing something right now. Something real. I want you to share this with me, brothers and sisters. Sing with me. He's got the whole world in his hand. He's got the whole wide world in his hand. He's got the whole world in his hand. He's got the whole world in his hand.
Bro!
Shout!